Hey guys!
Hi.
Welcome to Q&A Wednesdays. I know you guys missed Q&A Wednesdays in June, so Q&A Wednesdays are back.
Back.
Yeah. And today we're going to be answering a question that gets asked quite a lot. And this question involves my near-death experience when I had Phoenix. And lots of people want to know what Jazz was feeling at the time. So we've got a question here from...
I think this girl covers it quite well. Her name's Sienna Minx. She says she was watching one of our videos where Primrose almost died giving birth to our son. It was touching, a bit concerning because you spoke deeply of wanting to let go, that the feeling of peace pushed you closer to wanting to pass on and leave your husband and kids. I was wondering, since Jazz was there during the whole ordeal, what he felt, and also what did he experience through the ordeal?
Okay, so this question is for Jazz, really.
Yeah, we'll start off with the situation. So basically, when we went to the hospital, Primrose she went into labour really quickly. So when we arrived at the hospital, she was already crowning, basically she had started pushing the car. And so at that point, I'm in a panic. I'm thinking, oh my God, like, don't push in the car. I can't have you mess the car up. You know what I mean? So anyway, we've got straight to the hospital. I've put my foot down. I've got to the hospital. We parked in a disabled bay outside, and I've carried her in. As soon as I've carried her in, the midwives already knew she was coming. Primrose had made a phone call in the car. We've got there. She said, "Come straight into the room on our left." So we've gone straight into the room on the left where the maternity wards were. And Primrose, within half an hour, she's given birth to our son. It didn't take long at all, did it? It was really quick.
Finn was very quick.
Yeah, Phoenix was really quick and very painful because Prim had no painkillers.
Oh, it was awful.
I think if you want to, she tore, so
yeah.
It wasn't good. Like the whole experience was good because it happened quickly, I guess. So,
yes, yeah.
So at that point, you're thinking, wow, this is great. We can go home now.
Yes.
I'm thinking, wow, like, okay, cool. Are you okay, babe? I'm just making sure she's fine.
Yeah.
And at that point, we've taken pictures, as you do with your phone. I'm like taking pictures. Oh yeah, take a picture of you and the baby, and you've got all those pictures. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. She's lost a bit of blood. I'm thinking, but it's normal because that's the first natural birth we've seen. Because Havana was a C-section, so a cesarean section.
Yeah.
So I actually don't know any different, and so neither does she.
No,
so I'm thinking, okay, there's a bit of blood there, but I'm sure it's fine. She's tall. That's what the lady said, so that's okay.
Yeah.
So at that point, I said to her, look, I'm gonna go park the car in the car park, so I don't get a ticket outside. So I've gone to park the car. I've told all my friends and my family, we've had a baby boy.
You're happy.
Everyone's fine.
Good.
How's mummy? How's the baby? Mummy's doing great. Baby's fine.
Yeah.
So I've gone and parked the car. It took me about half an hour, and I've come back now. And just before I've gone back into the ward, I'm talking to my friend, and I'm telling him, this is great. I'm so happy. He's like, congratulations.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've walked back in. Primrose has said, can you dress the baby? And at that point, the two midwives are still there, checking Primrose, and obviously
waiting for me to go wee.
Waiting for her to go to wee. And obviously, women out there will know that. Once you've done that, then they can put you into the recovery ward, and in a few hours they send you home. So I was thinking, oh wow, wicked, we're going to be home soon.
Yeah, within 6 hours, going to be home, it's going to be nice.
Whereas Havana's birth was like 30 hours, and it was like, oh my God, such a distressing, long thing for her and for me, because it's our first experience and it was so long.
Yeah.
So I'm dressing the baby because Primrose asked me to dress the baby. She's had some breakfast. They gave her some toast. So to eat, just to get a bit of her energies back.
Yeah.
And so at that point, Primrose is complaining about not feeling too great, and she kept saying, babe, I don't feel well. And I was like, tell the midwife. And the midwife's like, oh, don't worry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Primrose's like, I feel like I'm going to give birth again.
Yeah.
Like, are you sure there was
contractions?
Yeah, that doesn't feel right.
Right, yeah. And they're like,
and
no.
I don't feel well.
Yeah. And they're like, no, you've had the placentas come out, everything's come out, so you shouldn't be feeling like you're having another baby. But basically, they kept overriding what I was saying.
They kept overriding what you were saying.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, when you're thinking, I wonder if, I hope this is okay. But then you just trust them, so you don't say anything.
Because they do it every day.
Yeah, I'm trusting them, so I'm thinking, okay, she just needs to go wee, she'll feel fine, maybe the contraction will stop, she just had the baby, obviously. So just, in time, it will stop.
Yeah.
So anyway, they've got her up twice to go wee. In that time, she lost a lot of blood going from the bed to the actual potty thing that they have, that they make you wee in.
Yeah.
So and also she's losing blood while she's there, and she's like, I can't wee at the moment.
Yeah, I didn't feel like
so
that.
I think they were making you take sips of water, weren't they? Babe?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, if you drink some water, you know, you can go wee, and what's it called? We can't let you go because we need to know that everything is functioning well. And then I kept saying to you, I felt so hot and cold, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm so hot. I was getting
cold,
so hot. And getting really cold.
So then I think it was the third or the fourth time they tried to get her up, and at that point I was holding Phoenix, so I've got him in my arms, and I'm like, obviously you're on top of the world, you're thinking, wow, everything's great. Baby. So Prim's got up, and as she's got up, she sat on the end of the bed, they've tried to get her up, and as they've tried to get her up, both of them, because she's obviously saying, I'm not feeling well, can you hold me?
Yeah. She
said that, and I was like, huh? Like straight away, and I'm holding the little one standing.
Because I don't really complain, isn't it?
And obviously it made me think, wait a minute. So as they've done that and gone to hold her, she's collapsed backwards and just basically like a dead body, just collapsed, like gone limp basically. And at that moment when she fell back on the bed and the nurses were all around her going, Primrose, are you okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Even now I get shivers like thinking about that and going back to it, like down my spine and the back of my neck, because in that short moment I thought to myself, I'm holding Phoenix, I'm thinking, first thing that came in my head was my daughter, because she was at home.
Yeah.
And I thought, what am I going to tell my daughter if her mum's not around no more?
Yeah. But what made you think of that straight away?
No, it was instant. I'm talking about literally, I'm talking about maybe 2 or 3 seconds. It's hard to explain. It's so hard to explain. Boom, all of a sudden I thought, my daughter.
Yeah.
How am I going to explain this to her? Then bang, I saw me with my 2 kids with no mum, and I thought, am I going to be a good dad?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? All this went through my head, and I was like, so for me it was a instant shock reaction, and it shows you what your body actually does to your mind, or what your mind does to your body, because straight away I thought all these things that, wow, my daughter, what am I going to tell her? How am I going to bring up my daughter because she doesn't have a mother? Or how am I going to bring up 2 kids by myself? Can I do this by myself? Innit? So I was like, it was an instant shock reaction.
Yeah.
So at that point, the nurses have all run in, they paged the doctor, bang, everyone's flown into the room.
Yeah.
So even more panic for me at that point. Now I've kind of come round again to what's going on, reality.
Yeah.
And I've said, look, I turned around to the doctor and said, is she okay? And the doctor just turned around and looked at me and gone, it's okay, like that's it. But initially they just ignored me. They didn't even look at me. So
you knew it was serious then?
I knew it was serious, and I was scared,
man. Because they were making eye contact with you.
Yeah, I was scared, and I was like, what the hell's happening here? And they've gone all onto Primrose to like kind of give her injections. They give her injections. They give her an injection to like bring her around. I don't know what it is, adrenaline. I don't know what do they give you.
It was adrenaline injection.
Yeah. So I don't know what they give you, and then I said, look, is she okay? And they kind of ignored me. Then one of the doctors turned around and goes to me, it's okay. And then I was like, and then she kind of come around slowly, and I was like, is she going to be okay? And they were like, look, she's okay. She just lost a bit of blood. We're going to take her in. We're going to have a check of it. We're going to check her out and see maybe she needs a blood transfusion because she's lost a lot of blood. Something around that. I was just glad to see she was conscious again. And so I was thinking, wow, at that point, this is crazy. So we've gone into another room now, and they've taken Prim's awake, and I'm like, are you okay, baby?
Yeah.
You know, I'm checking on you, innit?
Exactly, yeah, because...
And I'm still holding the baby, so we've gone into another ward, and at that point, they had to check what was going on, so the female nurse was really intrusive on Primrose, and at that point, it made me feel even worse, because I thought, what have I put my wife through again? Like this a second time? Because the C-section wasn't nice either. So I was like, oh my god, is she going to be okay? And the woman like was not, and you were kind of screaming in pain as well.
Exactly.
So it wasn't very nice. And then she goes, once she checked everything as they do, she goes, look, you've got clotting and we're going to have to operate on you to remove the clots, and we need to do a blood transfusion. And at that point they asked for an EPAP machine as well, just in case she kind of died within surgery.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, like it felt surreal.
It was weird, yeah.
It was weird. I can't even say to you what I was thinking. I was just scared, and it was surreal. I just sat there so quietly, and I'm not a quiet guy.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there so quietly, looking at my boy, thinking, oh my god. And then they've wheeled her off. She's gone for surgery, and at that point, I was in that room by myself for about an hour.
Yeah.
And all I did was look at the clock, and I was just looking at my baby, and I was like, just praying to God, like, God, please make her be okay. Like,
yeah.
I remember I was just praying. That was it. And I was sitting there thinking, I hope she'll be okay. I hope everything will be okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't want this. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So they brought her back. They said everything's gone fine, and I was like, relieved. Okay.
What's it called?
I'm not
the
sure.
Trauma unit.
The trauma unit.
Yeah.
So as I said, it was really scary to think they were going to take that EPAP machine, which if you die, they bring you back to life with that.
The shock thing.
So I was like, oh my god.
Because I was just explaining that because of the incident before, they can't put you to sleep because to take all the blood clots out, they would have usually put you to sleep, and then because it's like a surgery. But they couldn't put me to sleep, so they would take the resuscitation machine, into the surgery and stuff like that, because they can't risk it, because usually if somebody's already had an experience like that, if they put them to sleep, they don't come back. And I was like, wow, that's
so it's quite scary.
Yeah.
I think they even made you sign a disclaimer.
Yeah,
even though you were already in a state, and they're making you sign a disclaimer. Unbelievable.
And they were just like, they were like, because of everything that's happened, we're gonna do the quickest way, and we might just have to take your womb away, remember? And I had to sign, so you can't have any more kids and stuff like that.
So I kind of just, at that point I was like, look, as long as she's okay, we've got 2 kids, I'm not planning to have any more anyway. After that I was thinking, no way, I'll be having another kid.
Yeah.
And so anyway, she's gone in for surgery, she's come back, she's fine, they've said everything's gone well. They've taken it into that period of time, she was starting to feel better. So that made me feel better. Then I was back in a good mood, I was laughing and giggling, and and then you were feeling better as well.
Exactly.
And it was such a relief. And then obviously afterwards, Primrose, after a few days, once we got home, Primrose told me about the fact that she kind of felt like she had died at one point.
I didn't want to come back, basically.
You didn't want to come back?
Yeah.
And she had an option to come back, and she said, no, I don't want to come back.
Yeah. How did that make you feel?
And initially when she told me that, I had to stop myself getting annoyed or a bit upset about it, because I was thinking, how could you say that? How could you leave me with 2 kids? Yeah. But then I thought, wait a minute, I could be angry at you, but I can't be angry at you, because naturally when your soul leaves your body, your soul doesn't want to come back to this world.
No, exactly.
This world,
hell.
Because in all honesty, some people actually believe that this is hell that we're living in.
Yeah.
So why would your soul want to come back to this?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's not you talking, that's your soul talking, and naturally everyone's soul wants to be free. So I thought I could be angry at you, but I'm not going to be angry, because I know that if you were in your conscious mind and state, there's no way you would look at me, Havana and Phoenix, your newborn baby, and say, I don't want to come here, I don't want to come back. You'd never say that. So that wasn't you talking, that was your soul. So I had to think of it, I had to actually consciously process this in my head to not be angry at her for saying that. And then I understood it. Innit?
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, look, I understand. Look, I know that was you. She goes, babe, look, do you think you said to me, do you think I wouldn't want to be here with you?
Exactly.
Yeah. But obviously my soul was telling me, I don't want to come back.
Exactly.
I want to leave.
Yeah.
But then God brought her back. And she came back.
Exactly. I had a choice.
The energy brought her back. Yeah. And she came back.
Yeah.
But it was really weird. And I did think to myself, like, wow, initially, how can you say that you wouldn't want to come back and leave with 2 kids?
Yeah.
It's such a weird reaction.
So good.
Yeah, it's such a weird reaction.
Yeah.
And you think after all we've been through, you're thinking, wow, why would your soul not want to be with us?
Yeah.
But the point is that I think you have to respect the fact that if you were in your conscious mind state, you would make that decision. But your soul's free. Your soul's not meant to be held.
Exactly. It's like going home. It's
You're
just like
home.
the most amazing place. Why would you want to come back here?
You've reached nirvana, right? You've reached what you've always wanted, which was freedom from this physical being that we are. I would say, if you're into spirituality.
Exactly.
And even religion, I'm sure that is like the pinnacle once you go to God, right? Once you're free, once you go to this light or wherever it is, this energy, if you're not even a believer in God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a weird reaction, but that was my reaction to the whole process as it went through.
Exactly.
So yeah, tough times. Scary times. Emotionally testing as well. Yeah. Definitely.
Because the recovery afterwards was really long. It took me so long to feel like myself again. And it was just
I think these are all the things, all the stuff that we've been through, the kids, that have made us strong, so
Yes.
strong together.
Yeah.
Like the loyalty is above anything now.
That's it. And I think also
Yeah.
as well, this is why we talk about lots of different things like, you know, what would I want Jazz if I wasn't here, and all the topics that we covered in June. This is why we cover everything.
That was probably part of why
Yeah.
we discussed everything more. isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we all take life for granted. We just think like the next moment is a guaranteed thing, and you just don't know. Any moment could be it. We never thought that was gonna happen having
No,
Phoenix. We
never.
never thought that was gonna happen at all. So I think that just made us appreciate that tomorrow is not guaranteed. Any moment, the next minute is not guaranteed. So it's best to talk about everything and just make sure that
It was
we
only
both know.
it was only at that point that I think I actually thought, yeah, now I do need to learn how to take care of my kids.
Yes.
And I definitely do need to learn how to cook. I definitely
Yes.
do need to learn how to wash my clothes or like be domestic,
Yeah.
because I nearly saw my wife go.
Yeah,
in front of
and
me.
if she had gone, then I would have think, wow, how can I do all this stuff myself?
It's scary to think that I might have needed my parents again to help
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
because I would have been in a situation where I would have been just. You can't imagine, because at that point you are completely alone, because you sacrificed everything to be with someone,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden you lose them.
exactly.
That's your whole life gone.
Yeah,
And I said to Prim, and I've said it in a previous video, I want God to take me first, because I can't
Be
live
alone.
without her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can't be alone.
yeah.
And for me, I think because you're on a pedestal for me, innit now.
Oh.
Like Primrose is the best, and for me,
don't say that.
no one can touch you.
Thank you. No one can touch
So
you.
for me, I don't know if I could ever feel the same way about someone else again,
Yeah.
or let myself go like that, especially after so much emotion involvement towards marriage, and then something like that happened.
Yeah.
I might be like, wait a minute, I can't break. My heart's broken now.
Exactly.
It can't be mended. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, but it's only when you're in that moment you can make that decision. But I think because you'd be on a pedestal, I'd always compare everyone to you, and no one would ever touch you.
And then now it won't be fair.
And then it'll ruin any future
Exactly,
relationship
yeah.
in the
It
future.
wouldn't be fair,
And
yeah.
that's probably, and unfortunately, that's the sad reality. That if you do have a great relationship, it's so hard, and it's not fair on that new partner if it ever did happen.
Yeah.
God forbid
Yeah.
that you ever know, because you would always say, look, you don't match up to my previous partner.
Yeah. And then it's not.
And then it
right.
ruins what you do have
That's
at
it.
that time as well.
Exactly.
So it's tough.
So I hope that answered your question, isn't it?
Yeah.
About.
I hope you enjoyed that video, but obviously not too much. But enjoyed my explanation of how I felt about the whole thing.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. And so yeah guys, thank you again for watching this video. Again, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, share it with your friends and family.
Yeah.
And if you have any further questions, anything at all, please ask, and
Yes.
we'll try our best to answer it for you.
That's it. And on that note guys, we're gonna let you go, and that's it. Bye. Bye.